Um, so yeah, I just have this piece which is more like it's very personal to me because I'm a people pleaser, and yeah, for all those people pleasers out there, um, it's more of a prose rather than a poetry. So here we go. I'm almost always stretched thin, trying to make my unknown circles happy. Not that I've ever believed in happiness, but somehow I tend to do it each time when I'm out and about. Blurting out, of course, and yes, before it even occurs to me that I could say, I can't right now, or no thanks. My catchphrase is, it's no trouble at all. Meanwhile, I'm found silently dreading the mountain of favors I've signed up for, a list that only seems to get longer as the day wears on. I've got a clashing relationship with being helpful, and no matter how many times I try to break up with the word yes, saying no just doesn't come naturally to me. I guess this has solely got to do with unknown traumas, but who would unveil it anyway? My outlet for emotions, my virtual best friend I have never met, or my soul sister long gone. Well, somehow she still seems to leave traces on my WhatsApp. I've always drowned in guilt while I've shared parts of me with them. I can easily mumble my dark sides to strangers more often as it stings less, and the stakes don't feel as high. For I know I'm a mess, and I'm falling while pushing my feelings down for others. But my close ones, I can't. I just can't. And this one is for people pleasers out there. Thank you.
This was written after I attended a sort of a protest where everyone was sort of protesting, and yeah, as happens in a protest, and it was a very, very uplifting occasion. Okay. All I can do is sit in wonder and stare. There is magic in the sweet scented air. This day we are gathered in love and care. Life is good. You smile a rainbow and laugh aloud at the shapes you make out of a cloud. And in the midst of an extraordinary crowd, life is good. The circle of song possesses a rhythm all its own, each to the other much more than mere flesh and bone. The fire neath the moon, no one in need atone. Life is good. Face to face, heart to heart, mind to mind. Who knows what eyes that search the night may find? How much is yet to come, how much is left behind? Life is good. The flames are high, the trees nurse a glow. A minstrel with a guitar is singing songs of long ago. Then a silence, and in the quiet, time moves slow. Life is good. The morning filtered sunlight awakens the sleeping few. Too early for the heat of day to dissipate the dew. And I would not be sharing this moment if it was not for you. Life is good. Thank you.
The wheel. The front of his right foot goes up and down on the pedal. Otherwise, he is so still, one would think he has no need to breathe. The deep lines etched upon his face appear as chiseled clay. An ancient man on an ancient machine, his hands holding either side upon a lump of clay on the potter's wheel that turns and turns. As the foot pedal rises and falls and rises again, his youth long ago eroded, his back is bent double, his squeezing eyes focused on a single lump of clay. His ever bars or urn that slowly takes form. All is quiet, save for the sound of the wheel as it turns and turns and turns.
Oh, and I just want to give you a background. I started writing because I'm a performance poet. So that's probably why I talk too much when I'm playing my head. Unexpectedly, there are moments I relish my arms being my arms again. And then I ache for you. I ache for the way you once fit in the crux of them. Your head on my bare chest. I ache for those moments I dreaded your screaming and the way it seemed to echo with accusations of my failure. I ache for the days I wondered what I had done with my life and sat by your cot, begging you to forgive me for wanting just to be me again. I ache for the tiny brace I hated, the thin clothes and baggy pants that always seemed to draw eyes to us, accusing me of not being enough to heal you. I ache for your bald spot that I tried to cover and the tiny milk pimples I feared were a sign of sensitive skin, the fear that your easily marked brown skin would scar and you would blame me for allowing your perfection to be blemished. I ache for your fumbling steps, your bruised head and your scraped knees that made me fear you were somehow becoming too much like me. I ache for the bottles you wanted late at night to hold you in the rocking chair and sing you back to sleep without wishing it away. I ache because I don't really remember them. They are fragments and illustrated by ideas of memories, feelings, senses, and exhaustion. But I wasn't really there. This is what I took from myself. Missing all our worst days meant missing all our best. And I would never be able to hold the tiny you again and love you perfectly. So I ache and I ache and I ache. Thank you.
Thank you, Daphne, for having me today. I've got 5 poems for all of you. This first one is called Mandel. His earlobes are the first thing I notice, arcing down away from the jaw. Fleshy curve, unlike my own, which by nature clung close to me. And although I am quite certain that I was present at his conception, when I'm sent home from the hospital, I spend the night reading articles about Punnett squares and cuckoos and the unzipping of James. When they put him on her chest, he lifts his head to cry, and I am quite proud because he's not supposed to be able to do that for weeks. But then it reminds me of meeting the foster mother of a boy born to a woman addicted to drugs, and how she told me that when he was born, he would claw his way up her body in withdrawal. But I cannot say this, so instead I speak my boy's secret name for the first time and try to read character into the shape of his skull, which is revealed by hair slipped back with blood, distorted where the plates have overlapped, but not enough to have come out without a cut and the pacing drip of syntocimol and a catheter in her epidural space. But now he is swaddled in her vanguard arms, and as they take 2 drops from his heel, I worry about what else those unstitched strands of potential carry, and whether it's in my nature to nurture him. Because he is some third thing, and his black eyes are turning blue.
Why is losing weight and getting thin the same thing and yet different within society's palms? Losing weight is toned legs in the sunshine. Getting thin is my bruises surfacing from existence. Sweet bruised fruit, the apple falling a bit too far from the tree. Losing weight is my arms smoothing out to wrists that my hands fit perfectly around. Getting thin is the clockwork of checking my fingers still click into place every time I stand or sit or breathe. Losing weight is sitting my hands on my hip bone to see where my figure lies, and getting thin is massaging the spot to see how much I have to go. Losing weight is the way my jeans start to lose their grip around my hips. Getting thin is the way I tighten the belt to a point where it smothers my ribs, forbidden to breathe in calories. Losing weight is getting an hourglass figure. Getting thin is emptying the sand out. Losing weight is plucking my violin collarbones until my touch is blocked by calluses. Getting thin is the pitch never meeting the tune my eyes strive to see. Losing weight is watching my stomach crawl inside itself to flatten the thing my mother told me to suck in public. Getting thin is grabbing the leftovers of my binges in the dark kitchen night, not a single mirror there to look at myself. Losing weight is watching my jawline's sharp edges shadow over my neck. Getting thin is gum exercises, the chewing not followed by swallowing. Losing weight is hair tosses and laughter for Instagram, and getting thin is the comms I pull out in showers and press into drains to forget about them. Losing weight is exercise. Getting thin is tasted in blood in running. Losing weight is the world filling your head with pride. Getting thin is the weight of a headache and floating of fainting painted as progress. Losing weight is the praise, the after picture, the success story, the cure. Getting thin is the wind banging against my hollow stomach, crying for survival. Losing weight is the so-called bravery badge I will get reading this poem, and getting thin is despising every way I look performing it, every fold, every bulge that I see as not belonging on stage. Losing weight is how I've convinced myself that this is the way I'm meant to live. And getting thin is sweating under the reality that this is not living anymore. Losing weight is what I call it, and getting thin is the truth left behind it.
Oh.
Yeah.